Welcome to another truly cannot miss what would be Saturday morning live is now Saturday afternoon live. We're here on Veterans Row coming to you on Saturday afternoon live at 4 o'clock. And we're going to have a great show for you today. Apparently, our guest, John Seeley, I'm sorry. Yeah, John Seeley has had a last minute emergency and sent me a quick text saying he'll try and catch back into the show, but to please excuse him. So we're going to do just that. We're going to wish you well, John. Hope everything works out perfectly for you. And as always, we're going to open with mentioning our troops. We have troops in Gaza. So we want to shout out to some of our troops in Gaza that are listening and viewing. Thank you, and we wish you well. We want you to be safe. So you're definitely in our prayers. All our whole family is always in our prayers. We also have troops in Yemen, um, another place that's not safe. Our troops are not in the safest of areas, which is kind of what we sign up for. So we're good to go, but we still want to send our prayers and make sure our guys and gals are safe out there. We have troops over in Tunisia. And when I say we have troops in these locations, I'm in contact with some of our military men and ladies in these areas. So we kind of like want to stay abreast, want to keep right up with them and wish them well and know that they're okay. And we have some friends over in London. We have friends in LA. And our newest addition to our greatest of all time and our global family is down in Miami. And this person is amazing. So amazing. In addition to being a listener and viewer, this person is actually went on a mission today uh, to help someone, and she went out. I'm guessing this fellow is a veteran. I don't have confirmation on that, but my surmise, my guess is that he is in fact a veteran. He's an elderly gentleman in his 70s, and our friend in Miami happened to drive by where he lives, and there were some things setting outside, kind of like a yard sale. So she stopped by to, kind of take a look, and it just appeared that the things were so underpriced. And she spoke briefly with this guy and learned that he was having some very hard times and needed to kind of raise some immediate cash for an immediate need, obviously. And she helped him out and got back home and sent me a message and said, "Hey, I just had this incredible experience, and I'm thinking to go back out and visit with him because I really have the feeling that his need was pretty serious. He wasn't selling things at even close to market value, and just appeared to really be destitute." And my reply was, "Well, let's adopt a grandpa for the day." And her choice was to drive back out there and try to visit with this guy again. And it happened, he was no longer there, or not answering his door. And the neighbors kind of said that, he hadn't been out within the last couple of hours. So, we'll keep this guy. His name is Vance, Mr. Vance. So we'll keep this guy in our active circle here of wanting to reach out and find out what's going on. And if he is in fact a veteran, the thing we want to do is let him know what services and benefits he's entitled to as a veteran. Is it part of this show? And in fact, the whole reason this show was started is to let our veterans and families know what's available, because I ran into a situation where I was in need and had no idea. In fact, my belief was that the VA had nothing for me, was not able to help me. And a veteran friend of mine continually said, "Hey, you know what? Try the VA." Well, finally I did. And much to my surprise, they really had what I needed and more, and helped me through a really bad situation. And as a result, I was working for a radio station at the time and decided, if I'm not aware of this, I can't be alone. There's got to be, untold numbers of us that have no idea. So we decided to start the show, do the show, and let our veterans and families, hey, thank you, let our veterans and families know what's out there. So exactly that, a veteran who's not aware of what's available, and if that's the case, and we definitely want to get them to a local veteran service officer down in the Miami area, and get him plugged in, get him the help and services, whatever we can do for him. So to our great new family member in Miami, thank you so much for your activity, your heart reached out today, and it's like in conversations, I can't thank you enough, and I can't tell you how good you make my heart feel. Okay, so there it is. We also want to talk about a good friend of ours and mine for several years, Will Clemente up in Manhattan in New York. And Will is a great guy. He is rather, I was going to say he was a New York City cop, so he is a former New York City policeman and actually plays the role of a policeman on Blue Bloods that's filmed up there in New York. And he's got some other specials that he's in that are coming out on Paramount. Uh, and Will is a really great, down to earth guy. He's part of our K Zone Community and Veterans Outreach, which fostered the Intervene project, where we are dealing with reducing veteran suicide. Obviously, the goal is to end it. So whatever short of that we come up with, it's a win. If we can save one life, we've won for the day. Yeah, and we also have programs and resources available for family members, the survivors. We need to definitely keep the survivors in our hearts and in our services, in the resources that we're able to provide. So the Intervene is an interview. The fact that veteran suicide is a process and not just a split decision. So we want to learn how to recognize uh, the various stages in the process leading up to what, in most cases, could be a decision to provide a permanent answer to is temporary, that's not permanent. So if you are in fact feeling uh, without a purpose, we please reach out to someone, reach out to me. You're welcome to call me. I never not answer my phone. So if you dial 717-455-7086, I will answer. And you also have the 988, which is the emergency number. You can dial that from any phone anywhere. It's 988, then press 1 to be connected to a person. And I can attest to you that that is the case. You will get a person. I was in a situation with another vet in need, and ultimately I dialed the 988, and we got him the help that he needed. And it worked out real well. It was not a smooth process. And there again, is everything perfect? No. But the end result was the mission was accomplished. Our veteran is much more healthier emotionally, mentally, and physically as a result. So we saved a life. We saved a life. And we may have saved more than just his. So it does work. And again, I tell you, I want to, let you know it's not perfect. Don't expect perfection. Expect to deal with a little bit of roughness to get through it, but stick with it, and you will come to the result that we're looking for. Um, and I also, hey, I want to tell you about Santa Claus coming here to the farmers market next Saturday, the 7th, December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day, and the 14th and the 21st. And I'll let you in for a huge surprise here. Uh, Santa Claus is going to be yours truly. That's right. And no, it's not because I'm fat or old. Don't even go there because, I have my radio shirt on, my brand new radio face. Right. And also, you can get the Brooklyn Bridge cheap today, right? Right along with the swampland out in Arizona. So, what the message here is the folks here at the farmers market asked me if I would be interested in being Santa Claus for the kids for these 3 weekends, and of course, who can say no to the kids, right? Not I, that's for sure. So I will be Santa Claus from 12 to Saturday, December 7th, December 14th, and the 21st, right here at the Lebanon Farmers Market at 35 South 8th Street in Lebanon, between Chestnut Street and Cumberland Street. So come on in. The farmers market is open from 8 to 6 Thursday and Friday. Saturday, it's open from 8 to 2. I'm sorry, 8 to 3. And this is where you'll find Veterans Row, right here in the farmers market. And on Veterans Row, we have sheepskins for vets. And this is made possible by the Furs on Willow Company. And all kinds of sheepskin products are available. We have gloves and hats and the most awesome coats. And these are all put together, manufactured, sewn right here in Pennsylvania in Berks County. Great friend of mine, I've known him for years, has an outlet and he manufactures these sheepskin products, which leads me to our next great guy, and that is Mr. Pat Garrett. And you know him, of course, from the Pat Garrett Amphitheater and also the Sycamore Sheepskin Outlet right there in Strausstown, Pennsylvania, off of Route 78 uh, on the westbound side. And it's actually on the northwest corner of Route 78 and 183 in Strausstown, Pennsylvania. Pat has been a great friend for the past 20 years. And in fact, Pat is my mentor. He is the one that helped me get into the show business in all aspects. So, as I say every week, if you really want to complain about this guy, Sal Santori, reach out to Pat, and get me fired from his mentor program. Um, He'd be all too glad to do that, right? So anyway, we're going to get on with the show today. Unfortunately, our guest John Seeley is unable to participate, so we're going to go ahead and talk about some things. We're going to talk about the the resources and the ways that we can move through the process of veteran suicide. And one of the first things we want to do is learn how to recognize what's going on. What's happening with our veteran, and when when we get back from overseas. Okay, we are getting a little bit of. Okay, there we go. Um, to be aware of the different stages of the process as they present themselves with regards to the process leading up to veteran suicide or suicide uh, within anyone. As veterans, we have our own set of, I don't want to say criteria, but we have a unique set of causes. Some can overlap, of course, but we have some extra ones that only we can have. So in the process, one of the first things we want to be aware of is our lack of sense of purpose. While we're out there and in the combat theater, we have no time to think about it. It's like our decisions have been trained to make to save our lives, to save the lives of our comrades in arms. And we don't have to wake up every morning and decide, what are we going to do today? What is this week going to lead to? What is this month going to lead to? It's all kind of pre-planned. Then when we come back from the combat theater, that is missing. That's no longer present. Um, and this is, of course, upon discharge as well from the military service. And now we have this situation where we're in a totally new environment, and it's the civilian world where a whole different set of circumstances and influences are present and affect our lives. So if we're in a situation and we get back, we don't have employment to go right into, we don't have military folks waiting to receive us who have been there and understand what we've been through to receive us. And to our family, we are now a stranger. Anyone who's been in combat, been in the theater, can attest to the truth in this. We don't come back the same way we left. And our families many times have no idea what to expect, nor do they have a clue how to deal with what we present. And that varies greatly as to what we present. But what I'm getting at is, without a sense of purpose, without like, what am I doing? What's my meaning? What's my mission? We start to spiral downward. And when we're experiencing this, it oftentimes will, unless it's intervened, and there you go, you have it, intervene. Unless someone is able to intervene that early, it's gonna become a depressing. Yeah, pardon me, I don't have PTSD. Right, it's going to lead to depression, and that can become more and more severe. And what we're seeing is, in the lack of sense of purpose, the motivation's gone. You know, we don't have motivation to really do much of anything, and a lot of times that turns to I'm going to drink. Um, that's how I'm going to deal. I'm going to drink. I'm not going to feel. I'm just going to drink. Um, so that is obviously one sign that, hey, something's radically wrong here. So we want to go ahead and begin to recognize that for what it is. It's not a bad day. It's not a bad week. It's not a bad month. It's a stage in the process rather. Then we get into the depression, and if that's unchecked, it just continues to get worse to where we're withdrawing. We don't want to be bothered. We can't tell you what's going on. We can't share our experience with you, and therefore we are going to begin to withdraw, and we don't want you coming on our island. Stay away. And that can really uh, lead to another phase, which is like total isolation. And that is, I'm basically boarded up and I do not want to be bothered. Well, that's like one of the last stages in the process where, anything can happen. Um, and what we're talking about with intervene is, okay, what do we do about this? We see this. Okay, I understand it. You've explained it, and I'm seeing it happen. What do I do? The solution that we've come up with through extensive research and embedded our information to know that it's accurate and applicable is you want to begin to create as early as possible. You'd much rather be safe than wrong. Um, so you want to go ahead and as early as possible start to reach out and build a safe intervention team. And by safe, build it with team members who are not mandated reporters. Um, that only complicates things. And as a total last resort, we got to do it. We got to do it if that's all that's available. Well, we're saving a life, and if we need to go that route, then so be it. But non-mandated reporters are the way you want to go. You want to find military people, such as the primary care physician, the counselors, the therapists, the emotional support folks within the VA itself. And if you're not sure how to begin that, there are service officers that are supposed to be in each and every VFW and or Legion Hall, wherever you are. And there again, let me preface that and say, you know, that is the ideal situation, and not everything is perfect. So if you're not finding a VFW or a Legion that has an active service officer, ask the commander of the post to refer you to help you, uh, to get to someone who can help with identifying folks who will make a great part of this team. And another one is the spiritual advisor. That is huge, huge. I can't say enough about having the appropriate spiritual advisor involved. Uh, 9 out of 10 times, this is exactly what's missing in our lives. No spiritual connection, no connection to anyone or anything. Therefore, we are alone with ourselves, and that's not a good place to be. So, we want to start to build this team. We want to find the right people, and we want to put together an intervention plan. We don't want to just go up and say, hey, you know what? Let's go see the doctor. Well, okay, you know what? There's a few choice responses to that, which are knee jerk and can be totally expected. So you need to work with people who have been there, who know what's going on, who know how to approach it, and who know how to go in with just the right go in with just the right approach and methods to be able to not aggravate the situation and begin to open up and get some help for our veteran. One of the biggest things we can take a look at is having the right uh, counselor, therapist, yeah, emotional support person who can listen, who can really understand, and has been there to be able to listen, to empathize, not be judgmental, uh, but to really work, open up, and develop a relationship with our veteran, because it's all about trust. Um, it's got to be about trust. And as a veteran, if we're not finding the trust level, we're not going to make any progress. We're not going to be talking, uh, and therefore we're not going to be moving forward. So find the right people, the ones who have been there and who really can help. Get together, get the intervention team together for meetings so we can talk about, okay, here's how we're going to go about this. And I'm not talking about doing this over an extended period of time. You don't have an extended period of time. This needs to happen quickly. And that brings me to the final part of our whole intervention process, and that is to get reintegration modified to where we are having reintegration process begin a minimum of 90 days prior to the ETS of our soldiers. And the ETS is exiting the service. So we want to begin our process, our reentry process, a minimum of 90 days prior to the leaving the combat theater, so that when we do come home, we are in process. We are not looking to begin a process. We're already in the midst of one, so it's a continuation, which will greatly, greatly, greatly reduce not only veteran suicide, but a lot of family issues, family problems, and a lot of stress and heartache for our veterans as well. Let's get this thing started. So we're looking for people to help us help veterans and families. uh, I can't speak highly enough about our new family member in Miami, just amazing, amazing. She kind of reviewed what we do, had a look at the website, several conversations with me, saw some of our videos, and actually sent me a message and said, you know what, I want in, I want to help. Uh, Beautiful, beautiful. So I'm encouraging everyone to please go. If you're on the YouTube channel, you can go back through some of our videos and see what we're all about. Reach out and contact me on email. That's Sal, SAL, at thekzcbo.org. Or you can reach me on the phone at 717-455-7086. It appears as though our stream has ended, so I want to add this final note that we do on every show, and that is please find someone to help. This goddamn computer froze. Fucking computer froze.